Friends, a very important video that I'm making to prevent an attempt to turn our country into a haven for international criminals once and for all. I've made a video about Dmitry Turner, whose real last name is Nekrasov. Reminder, this scammer is from Moldova. In 2002, Moldovan court convicted him of fraud and drug possession. Just a year later, Turner, aka Krasov, fled Moldovan prison with fake documents, settled in Ukraine, and took the surname Turner. Anyway, that's not his only fake surname, but we'll talk about that next time. And today, I want to inform you about Turner's preparations for Moldova. But first, I would also like to remind you that Turner is a close partner of the fugitive Ukrainian oligarch Dmitry Firtash, who is wanted by the American court today for his connection with the criminal authority Semen Mogilevich, as well as for trading Iranian gas in violation of sanctions, and for corruption in the platinum deposit sector and gas scams. Firtash, Turner have criminal cases in Ukraine under sanctions. But for now, Firtash is in Austria, where extradition to the USA is ongoing. By the way, Dmitry Turner next to Firtash in Vienna at Austrian court session. But soon in Austria, the possibilities of procedural delay of Firtash's extradition will be exhausted, and the Austrian authorities will have to extradite him to the USA, where he faces serious charges and the threat of receiving several life sentences. And here we have come to my exclusive information about what Turner is preparing in Moldova on Firtash's orders. So, Dmitry Turner, who 20 years ago ended up in a Moldovan prison for stealing the property of law-abiding citizens who rented their apartments to him. Turner, who later escaped Moldovan prison to Ukraine, befriended and partnered with shady businessman swindler Firtash. Today in Moldova, Tony dubiously became president of a sports federation. Also here, in Moldova, Tony paid Moldovan media outlets for advertising and creating a positive image. All this is done with Firtash's dirty money, but all this is done in order for the deputies of the Moldovan parliament to vote for a law on obtaining citizenship in exchange for investments in the building behind me, which is the Moldovan parliament building, in the near future. When this law is passed, the slick Ukrainian oligarch Dmitry Firtash will depart Austria for Moldova to get Moldovan citizenship in Chisinau, so that the slippery con artist can evade extradition to the USA. I'll remind you that Moldova doesn't extradite its citizens. A compliant Moldovan ephemera for money will help the Firtash to fend off accusations of American and Ukrainian justice. Those who follow my investigations know how much effort it took me to draw attention to another crook, to draw attention to the drug lord Mikhail Railian, also known as Zabar, who was sentenced to 7 years in prison in Belgium. Just 6 months after my exposés and protests in Railian Zabara's house, searches were finally conducted. But despite the conviction in Belgium, and even despite the fact that the police found a combat grenade at this dealer's house, Zabar Railian is still not in prison and remains free. That's how Moldovan court works. We're talking about a drug lord who's already been convicted by a European court, but he feels fine in Moldova because he bribes courts. And if in Moldova some drug dealer and smuggler can buy themselves out with money, then it will be even easier for the Ukrainian billionaire Firtash to do so. All he needs today is to obtain Moldovan citizenship, and the corrupt Moldovan judges will continue to fight among themselves to get $1 million from the thief and justify this thief in Moldova. To create a good image of Moldovan Turners in Ukrainian media, money is spent making a cunning Ukrainian huckster a Moldovan citizen. And the next step should be lobbying in these media for the legislative initiative to adopt this law on obtaining citizenship in exchange for investments. All these sellout journalists, who for money promote the fugitive prison attorney, will soon have to start lying to you about what a good law it is and how much money it will bring to Moldova's budget. No, this is a bad law that will enable not only Firtash, but also other fugitive criminals to buy Moldovan citizenship and avoid extradition from other countries. And then they will be purchasing the Moldovan court in order to close their criminal cases and obtain acquittals for the crimes they committed in other countries. This law will ultimately change Moldova into a haven for global criminals. That's why this law was adopted by Plahotniuc at the time, but later, after his escape from Moldova, this law was annulled. And now the tournament for Firtash's dirty money is being prepared to lobby for this awful law in order to save their boss from American justice. Law to aid global criminals in safe settlement in Moldova. That's why I'm filming this video in front of Parliament building today. So today I'm reaching out to you, mates, to help me spread the truth, so that together we can prevent an attempt to turn our country into a haven for criminals from other countries. Share this video so more people watch it. Leave your comments below the video. I'm particularly interested in your opinion on the MPs who are willing to sell their country to international criminals for money, ready to turn Parliament into a business to evade criminal responsibility for all these scoundrels and thieves. The future of Moldova depends on us. It's up to us which country we wake up in tomorrow. We'll live in Moldova, where law, order, and justice prevail. Might be a country where money rules, obtained illegally. Where do they write laws for us, which are ordered for money by fugitive swindlers and profiteers, hiding from criminal responsibility for crimes they committed against their own people? I, Pavel Grigorchuk, promise that I will continue to expose scoundrels who want to turn our country into a haven for criminals. But I need your help and your support. Together we'll stop these crooks. Together we can achieve that truth and justice prevail. Let's stick together and fight for your rights.